Welcome back to another video, this time with some gameplay. There was a small little league challenge with 3 rounds, best of 3, and I was able to record 2 of those rounds until my phone ran out of storage space. So once again, as you can see, I'm playing the same old Gardevoir. The list is very much inspired by the Rowan Stavenhow list that was played at the recent regionals. The only difference is that I switched out a heavy ball for a TM Devo. Now, it's probably not the greatest, but in my head I thought, next week there's a League Cup, I'm expecting a lot of Dragapults, maybe I could get a spicy little Devo play off. If they don't play down multiple Dragapults, I can maybe try and put damage on the Dragapult, spread some damage around Munkidoris, and then Devo them for a devastating turn, maybe Unfair Stamp them as well so that they don't have, unless they have Rare Candy to get that Dragapult back up online, it's going to be very difficult for them to make a comeback after getting Devoed. So we'll see how that goes next week. But for now though, first match up is against a Miraidon player. I won the coin flip, I decided to go second, and I started with Cresselia. Honestly, not the worst, because Cresselia, 120 HP, if the Iron Hands has a DTE, I even checked there, it's only doing 100 damage, so he can't amp me very much, but then he gets Nest Ball and gets down Iron Bundle, so pretty much I need to get something good here. I need to get fodder for Iron Bundle, which ideally won't get KO'd for 2 prizes with MP very much, especially because he's going to hit double. Of course, he always hits double electric off of Electric Generator. I also need to try and get Kirlias down. So already I'm seeing this turn 1 and I'm like, oh boy, I am in a lot of danger. I'm going to need a lot from my turn. So I draw my card and I thankfully I do have Buddy-Buddy Poffin, so I start searching my deck, and here is where I realize not really a mistake even, but here is where I realize my problem. I flip over, double Guardian the prizes. So that was a quick game 1. We instantly go game 2 and he flashes me that he had Professor and another energy and a Prime Catcher as well for the next turn. So no matter what happened, I was pretty much dead in the water. So we move over onto game 2. Thankfully this time around, he flips over Fezandipiti and just goes Attach Pass, which is great for me. I bench down a Screamtail. I think I had Screamtail in hand, so I probably should have started with Screamtail in the active instead of Ralts, so that I could, TM Evo that. But it's fine though, because I'm able to get down 2 more Raltses off of a Buddy-Buddy Poffin, and then I will be able to also get down a 3rd Ralts, I think with my Buddy-Buddy Poffin, and I only Evo 1 of them because 2 of the other Kirlias are in my hand. So it's not too much of a issue that my 1 Ralts is in the active. Also, my 4th Kirlia is prized anyway as well, so it doesn't really matter too much. But normally it's nice to have your Raltses on the bench, not in the active. Now he is able to get down his Miraidon plus Iron Hands and Raikou with the, Forest Sealstone as well. Now with Fezandipiti in play, just in general, this is a sign for me that I can Mawile trap it if I need to. Now I see he's attaching energy to the Raikou, not the Iron Hands, which in my mind is very interesting. So this means in my mind that he doesn't really have it. But then he Prime Catches up, brings up the Raikou. So I'm assuming he didn't have DT. I think he had to use Forest Sealstone for a generator to even try and get this attack off and KO my 1 Kirlia. But thankfully I had the other 2 Kirlias and then Fezandipiti. So here I also Unfair Stamp him. This is great. Right from the get-go, put him down to 2 cards. Now I do make a slight misplay here in that I forgot that I evolved these 2 Kirlias right now after this turn. I thought that I TM Evo'd for 2 instead of just the 1. So I play down an Artazon, I get a Munkidori. I have a great setup here. I even Earthen Vessel away to get a Dark and a Psychic Energy. I pull up the Fezandipiti as well because I want to make sure he doesn't have any draw power after putting him down to 2 cards. There you see I Vesseled for the energy. I Ultra Ball away, get Gardevoir down, and he's like, wait a minute, you put that down this time. I'm like, oh right, whoopsie. So now I'm in a bit of a pickle. And I realize he has energy on it, so I retreat my rolls, but I'm trying to consider what do I retreat into. Now, I did put a Bravery Charm onto that Fezandipiti before I Unfair Stamped, and I realized most of my Pokemon he can KO. The only thing he can't KO is Fezandipiti. The only issue is I don't have energy to get this out of the active. But I do have Artazon in play, so obviously he retreats into his Raikou. He can, of course, fetch an Iron Bundle if he needs to, but honestly, if he does fetch Iron Bundle, I'm fine. I place down that Screamtail turn 1. It's, like I said, it's fodder, so I don't mind. It forces him to have to, spend the 1 energy that was already on the Fezandipiti to retreat, so I'm okay with this, I guess. Means that Raichu is less of a concern, but then he does put down Magnemite, and he does bundle in my Screamtail, and then go for a knockout here. So he's on 4 prize cards left. I am up still on full 6. But I still have the Gardevoir in hand. I have the Munkidori in play. I have another Dark in hand, I think. So here I'm just filling up my hand. Put down another Munkidori. Put down a Dark Energy. Get down my Gardevoir. Pull up the Iron Hands because I know I don't want him to be able to just boss and, you know, go 2/2/2 still. So I KO the Iron Hands. He does still have his Fezandipiti. And then he also has Fleet-Footed as well. But I think at this point now, when I have my Gardevoir set up, I have a Fezandipiti down with the Bravery Charm, so I can't get KO'd by, say, a Miraidon or anything like that. I have 2 Munkidoris, so I'm always ready to go for a KO on most of his Pokemon, unless he has a Bravery Charm. This is very good for me. I'm in the position I want. All because I think that turn 1, he just obviously drew pass on his Fezandipiti. So that meant that on his next turn, he couldn't really go for an MP very much, and he could only just use a regular attack. So he's gotten 2 KOs, but they weren't MP very much KOs. So instead, he just swings with his Raikou. And I mean, at this point now, I've got another Kirlia here. I tried to Ultra Ball for a Gardevoir because I want to set up another one because he's obviously going to KO on the next turn. But I see my other Gardevoir is in the prizes, so I just grabbed the Munkidori. But I do have Night Stretchers in hand, and I know he doesn't play any Disruption, so I'm fairly confident here. He did put a Bravery Charm on the Raichu, so I put some damage on that. Enough that I can double monkey at next turn. And then I put another bit of damage on the Raikou. And get another knockout. I go down to 2 prizes. He's still on 4. And then he's able to get a bunch of energy out. And thanks to Gardevoir being damaged already, he is going to be able to take this KO on the Gardevoir. But again, I have both my Night Stretchers in hand. I will be able to fetch the Gardevoir, bring it back up, and then go for another KO. So you see here, he puts down the 3 energy. I'm like, okay, cool. Night Stretcher, and then yeah, that's game. Game 3, we did, spoiler alert, game 3, I lost. The only issue is, I think I misplayed it. So here, you'll see he obviously goes second, and here he doesn't miss his MP very muches, which is very dangerous. I do get down a Klefki, which is initially super cool, but then you see he has Prime Catcher in hand. This would have been great if it weren't for this though, because then he wouldn't have had any other way to get more Pokemon out. He also, he had Iron Bundle also, that would not have worked. He has Arven in hand as well though anyway, so he could have fetched this Prime Catcher, I feel like. And the interesting thing is that Prime Catcher, the way it's worded is, you can switch out the opponent's Pokemon, and then that's a full stop. If you do switch out the Pokemon, then you can switch your own Pokemon. You are allowed to play Prime Catcher even if you don't have anything else. I even, like you can see here, I double check and read. Now, unfortunately, the camera does run out of space here in this match, so we won't get the full video, but you do see he gets down his Iron Hands. Essentially, he's going to get an MP very much twice in a row. And on just before his 3rd turn, I have a chance to try and Mawile trap his Fezandipiti, but unfortunately I had to Ultra Ball for one of 2 things. Either the Mawile to actually, you know, get the trap in, or I had to Ultra Ball for a Gardevoir to be able to get energy onto a potential Mawile and also to retreat and stuff like that. And obviously I can't do both, so unfortunately I could only counter catch up a Fezandipiti and PRE, but at the end of the day he had an energy in hand to retreat it manually and then a boss's order to then also pull up one of my Kirlias and MP very much yet again. But yeah, I will cut off the recording here because I mean, it's pretty much game over. Next up though is a Gardy mirror match, which I was very excited for because I thought, ooh, I have a chance to use my TM Devo. So I start off with Flutter Mane, I get down a Ralts from hand, and I use Artazon for another Ralts. Yes, he can use my Artazon as well, but honestly, I'm sort of okay with this because I would assume that he normally would have a, as you can see, Buddy-Buddy Poffin anyway. So he's going to get down multiple Raltses no matter what. Now, interestingly though, he does make an interesting play here in that he has an energy, he has an Arven as well. So you'll see that he goes and he grabs TM Evo, but then he also grabs a Nest Ball and he Nest Balls for a Badoo. And instead of going attach TM Evo, he decides to attach Retreat and then item lock me. I kind of understand it, you know, but on the same time, I think my hand was pretty dead anyway, no matter what. So I didn't really have many good items to play, so instead, I just attach a Darkness Energy to Munkidori and put the 10 damage back. Of course, he has another Dark Energy for himself, so he just puts it back and then flings another Itchy Pollen, but he also gets down a Kirlia. So I guess this also makes sense in that, you know, he's stalling me out while he is still able to develop his board. The tail of my game here is just I'm struggling to get Kirlias and Raltses and Gardevoirs and whatnot. So again, I take a KO here by switching out into Munkidori, flinging the 20 damage onto his Munkidori, and then Mind Bending. I'm a bit scared here because, well, you'll see what's going to happen here. He goes for Earthen Vessel, gets energy out, gets Scream Tail, so he's ready to snipe my bench. And then he plays an Unfair Stamp. I have no draw power. I'm going to be on 2 cards. He has a Screamtail ready to start sniping down my Ralters. Thankfully though, I do draw into Fezandipiti right off the get-go. So I'm very happy to see that. Goes for Night Stretcher, and he brings back the Badoo. And then he goes for Bravery Charm, and then he Itchy Pollens and moves 20 onto the Ralts, which in my mind, I was like, oh, okay, that's very interesting. He doesn't take a KO, so I guess it works in that I can't Fezandipiti, but with Mind Bend plus moving that 20 back, I'm able to KO the Badoo again. I was really concerned that he would Screamtail my bench, but thankfully, he did not do that. So I'm on 4 prizes now. Still no draw power though. 4 prizes with Munkidori and Raltses. But now though, he gets down another Kirlia, puts his Screamtail up to 40 damage, and then he starts sniping the bench with a Bravery Charm as well. Thankfully though, that means I can finally play down a Fezandipiti, but I'm still concerned though. So I get down I thin out another Munkidori from the deck, Earthen Vessel again as well, and then I'm able to get down 1 Kirlia, and thankfully off of my refinement here, off of this Kirlia, why not actually, I get an Ultra Ball, and an Ultra Ball for a second Kirlia, because I know no matter what, he's gonna snipe another Kirlia. I need to get 2 established no matter what, especially because I can't get a KO. And so because I can't get a KO, I just move 10 damage onto the Kirlia, and I don't swing into this Screamtail, because even if I do Mind Bend and Confuses, I know he'll have, what, 100 damage on the Screamtail. He could, in theory, try and then snipe my Fezandipiti if he gets heads. Instead, though, he plays down a Pokemon League Headquarters, brings up my Kirlia because he's aware that I'm kind of strapped for energy, I think, if I remember correctly here. Adds another energy to account for Pokemon League Headquarters and takes out my Kirlia. But now, I'm happy. I've got 2 Munkidoris, I've got Fez, I've got Kirlia. I Iono at the start of the turn, so he is down to 4 prize cards if I'm not mistaken. I get out a Gardevoir. He goes down to 2 cards now with Unfair Stamp. And now I have Flutter Mane in the bench here, and I was really tempted to make a really cool play where now that I know he's on 2 cards in hand, I wanted to TM Devo and also counter catcher up the Gardevoir if I could have, but instead I just use Hex Hurl, knock out the active Screamtail, put 2 damage counters on the Kirlia, but also I put 6 damage counters from the double Munkidori. And you're going to see that is a very common thing that you can do in this Gardevoir matchup. 6 damage counters from double Monkey, and then 2 from the Hex Hurl. And also, now with the Munkidori in the active, he can't use Adrena Brain because of Flutter Mane. That's why, like I said, I would have loved to be able to counter catcher Gardevoir into the active, and then like make a TM Devo play or something like that. I wouldn't have gotten a KO, but it would have been nice at least. And there you can see he attaches 2 energy and goes for the swing. He wanted to Mind Bend there, but of course he can't, because that would have gotten a KO. So I survive on 80 damage, and then I Turo Sonori up the damage. Not before I switch across the damage though, and then I go for another knockout on the active monkey, put 2 damage counters on the Kirlia, and then go for another 2 prizes for all 6. Now, again, same story. I go first. I'm able to get on a Buddy-Buddy at least, and an energy on turn for the Munkidori. He starts off with Vessel for 2 energy, and of course an Ultra Ball as well. Gets down a Flutter Mane, which is very interesting. I think, similar story. He wants to be able to cancel out my abilities, but it shouldn't matter too much because I'm able to go for a Arven to get out Buddy-Buddy Poffin and TM Evo. And also, I had Kirlias in hand, so you'll see I evolved my 2 Kirlias that I placed down turn 1, but I'm also able to go Buddy-Buddy Poffin for 2 more. Off the refinement, I get another one, and then I get 4 Kirlias off of my second turn, which is every Gardevoir player's dream. All of this in the meanwhile, he is still stuck with just 1 Ralts on the bench, a Flutter Mane and a Munkidori. No energy yet. He does have a Bravery Charm. I think he just drew past, I think. So you can see here, I'm Ionoing him down again, and I'm just drawing a bunch of cards. I don't have any energy in the discard pile, so unfortunately, all I can do is Mind Bend for 60. But it does set it up for a nice knockout on the following turn if I am able to find some extra energy in the discard pile. Now, I think we didn't catch this, but he goes for TM Evo, and he's going to Evo his 2 Raltses. Flutter Mane is confused. I think because it's not a damaging attack, we don't think of it as something you should flip for confusion. But let's just assume that he flipped heads anyway, and he gets off the double Ralts here. Or the double Kirlia, rather. So on my side, I start playing anyway, though, while he's getting his stuff. Oh, wait, no. I think he tried to TM Evo, and then he failed because you're going to see both Kirlias are in his hand. But I'm able to then retreat, attach an energy from Psychic Embrace, and then also attach from hand. And I'm able to get a knockout on the, what is it called, Flutter Mane with the Adrena Brain. And then put 90 onto the Munkidori and put 2 onto the Kirlia, setting it up for a following turn. And then you see he evolved with his double Kirlia from hand. Of course, now he cannot Adrena Brain, but he then counter catches up my Kirlia. Again, I have no energy. That's why I had to attach a Darkness energy, sorry, to Flutter Mane. And he moves damage, double Munkidori, 60 damage onto my Kirlia, both my Kirlias, but he doesn't move the 20 damage off of his own Kirlia. So that is still very vulnerable to me. So I'm able to eventually get the energy I need to switch out, and I'm able to double Munkidori ping onto his Kirlia, and then we were on time, so I was like, let me TM Devo you for fun. But yeah, that was just a small little recap for a small little league challenge that we went to today. Tomorrow is pre-release, so hopefully I'm praying to get a Lily's Clefairy out of my Build and Battle box, but I guess we'll have to wait and see for that. And then next week, I'm probably going to be taking this list to a League Cup, the last cup for this regulation, essentially. Again, I know TM Devo probably not the best. Hisuian Heavy Ball is probably better for consistency. As you can see, when you go up against Miraidon or other decks that aren't Evo decks, the TM Devo is pretty much useless. But I thought, hey, if I can make one cool play, I'll be happy. I don't mind. But yeah, I will see you all next week then. Hopefully you enjoyed some of this POV gameplay. Until next time, bye bye.